to Blue Jays Today, where today, everybody, we got to talk about that beautiful series win over in Minneapolis. I was predicting that, you know what? Minnesota's a tough team. We're on the road, probably going to lose this series, even though the bats and the pitching have been pretty decent and winning us a lot of games lately. They said, screw you, Adam. We're an elite team, and we're going to win 2 out of 3 and prove how good we are. Right now, the Blue Jays are currently tied for first place in the AL wildcard. Can you believe it, folks? We're here on June 9th, and we're saying that. That's amazing. We're going to break down just the final game of that series where they ended up dropping that last game, not getting the sweep on the Twins, and as well talk about the moves that just happened with the Blue Jays. They made a move calling up Spencer Turnbull. What does that mean for Bowden Francis too, who struggled on Sunday? And as well, we'll get into the next series and more. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And ultimately, I know it sucks to finish with a loss, but that was still a great series and ultimately a great week overall. They took on Philly. They took on Minnesota, 2 very solid teams, 2 teams that were, prior to us facing them in the playoffs. Philly still is. Yeah. Minnesota was at one point out of it.
They're tied.
They're
again.
back in again. Okay.
That's what we're tied with.
So either way, 2 playoff teams.
Yeah.
And you were on the road, in one of them, and you ended up coming out with 2 series W's. So ultimately, I know that people were down after yesterday's game, and there are some fingers to be pointed at why that happened. But the fact that they won the series, and then also, too, the fact that, and I tweeted this out in like the 4th inning or something like that, but I was like, we're close to potentially sweeping Minnesota, which is a playoff team, on the road. And you did it, they almost did it with having a bullpen day and having Bowden Francis pitch. Now, ultimately, it didn't end up going down that way, but they were in a position where they could have. And, considering all of the things that were stacked against them, and we broke it down last Blue Jays Today show, and there was a lot of them, so many things were, the arrow was pointing towards Minnesota. So the fact that, by the, 3rd, 4th inning, they were in that game potentially, looking to maybe even sweep them, that's impressive in its own right.
Yeah, and they didn't get destroyed like in years past. Now, the offense, it was a quote-unquote down game for the offense, only scoring 3 runs. And then, you had Bowden Francis, battling. It was struggling. It was back and forth in that first few innings. And then after a certain point, it's like, okay, well, you can't really fault the rest of the team when they put up 6 runs on your starting, or not the starting pitcher, but they put up 4 runs against Bowden Francis and then 2 on Fluharty. That is unfortunate for him. But, at that point, it's like, okay, well, let's move on to the next game, boys. We tried our best here. We moved on. So, you're right. It was kind of cool to see them have an opportunity to get a sweep, but they didn't do it. I guess with that being said, do we want to address the elephant in the room right now, or should we get to the move?
No, I think ultimately we got to talk about Bowden Francis. Quick shout out here to Nathaniel Reisenberg, $5 dono, saying great series overall, and that is, again, that's the through line here. Okay, we're about to get a little negative here, but the through line is this is a good baseball team. There is a reason for you to click on Sportsnet every single evening. There's a reason to watch this team because they are exciting right now. All that being said, Bowden Francis has got to go, man. Look, I love the guy. I believe in the talent. You don't have that stretch at the end of last year. It's not just a fluke that doesn't just come out of fucking thin air. So there is something to his game. There's something to be unlocked there. Right now, he just doesn't have it. A 1.56 whip and an ERA of 6.12. I fully understand and appreciate the Blue Jays do not have a lot of options right now, but that whole argument about, well, we need somebody to go give us innings, that argument becomes pretty stupid when those innings will inevitably be giving up runs.
Yeah, his last 5 or 6 starts have been almost unwatchable, and every single game he plays, it's like we're losing. And I like what you said. Look, I'm not out on Francis. There's a reason why I was hyped about him, last year, coming into this year. I mean, we all saw what he could do. It's just the matter of fact is he can't pitch right now. He's obviously major league caliber. We've seen the hype before, but he needs to go down to AAA. Right, and we're going to talk about a move a little bit in a moment, but we need to get somebody else in there to pitch games. We are in a playoff spot right now, and I get it. It's June. There's a long road to go, but we can't be punting every 5th game. And at this point, that's what it feels like. And for Bowden's sake, it's not just this was a one-off day. No, this has been happening because of a mechanical issue. It started in spring training. It's progressed into what we're seeing right now. We just had him in here for because we wanted to see if he could just fight his way through it. He's not. He's losing. losing the fight right now. We got to get somebody else.
Yeah, and he's losing his games, right? Because last week, Jays go 4-2. Those 2 losses, both of them were when Bowden Francis took the bump.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, like, it becomes, like, again, wins and losses aren't a pitcher stat, but when you already have 8 losses to your name on
Make
a
that
team,
9 now. Make that 9 because it didn't update. For
okay, so
reason.
9 now apparently.
Sorry, 9 like losses in games that he's pitched in. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's got 8 losses to his name, meaning that he is fully credited with those losses. We are down when he exits, and to have that many losses on June 9th on a team that's in a playoff spot right now. Obviously, there are some questions here. So for me, when I look at Bowden, there's a couple things, multiple things right now. One, when the season started, it was all the home run ball, and that's still an issue. He's given up the most home runs in MLB by a pitcher at this current juncture, right? So he's given up a lot of home runs. But this past game, it was like 5 or 6 walks in 2 innings. Like,
it's
now,
mechanical.
That's the thing.
Like, he's just missing.
We're missing like crazy, and when we are in the zone, it's getting absolutely hammered. So if you're walking people and you're giving up jacks, like, we just can't put you out there anymore, man.
We can't, right? And I'm gonna be thoroughly upset, ladies and gentlemen, if the Blue Jays don't make some sort of rotation decision this week, because there is an opportunity for them to make a decision. People were talking, we got an off day on Thursday. There's an opportunity for you to either skip a start or give someone some extra rest or do a big bullpen day. There's options. Let's get into those options right now, folks, because I think we can all agree that something has to be done to prevent losing more games. We did just see a move that came up. It was Spencer Turnbull. Finally, last night it was announced, finally, Spencer Turnbull gets the call to the show. He's up from AAA Buffalo, and Paxton Schultz, who got beat up on his last appearance. He was doing pretty good before that, honestly. Got beat up a little bit. Blue Jays did come back to win. He's down at AAA. Honestly, Paxton, I hope to see you up again, dude, because I kind of liked watching you pitch. But Spencer Turnbull, what are your thoughts and expectations for this guy, and where do you think the Blue Jays are going to kind of play him?
No expectations. My thoughts are that having more pitchers that could potentially be MLB caliber is a good thing. I wouldn't be shocked, to see Spencer Turnbull potentially kind of slowly take over that Bowden Francis role. And if he can actually throw the baseball with any type of authority, be my guest. Now, the one thing that I will say, though, is that John Schneider is being particularly stubborn about this whole Bowden Francis situation. Blue Jays Domain is responding to that tweet right there, being like, how did Bowden Francis survive not getting sent down? And it's simply because John Schneider is so stubborn about this. He came out and he was talking about Bowden, and he's saying, we need him. That's the bottom line. We need him to help contribute and be a pitcher that he can be, so you keep working to make adjustments. The stuff is where it should be. Disagree wholeheartedly.
No, it's not.
It's just the mix and the location. That's part of it, but again, there's other stuff here, and he's got to tighten up a little bit. That's all. I also heard, it was Barker, Kevin Barker, was on the post-game show yesterday, and he was talking about it, and they had on Blair and Barker, they had John Schneider on a couple days prior to yesterday, so like in the week, Friday, Thursday, not entirely sure, and John Schneider was very clear that Bowden Francis not going anywhere, part of the plans, part of the future, and Kevin Barker was saying, hey, like, this is what he said. It's actually like baffling to me. I don't really get it. I understand. I'll be clear.
Yeah.
I understand that there's not a lot of options. I understand that they're already rocking with a bullpen day. So John's concerns about, really taxing the bullpen, I get that. But he's a guaranteed L right now, dude. And I don't understand how you can, like, you might as well fucking sign IKF and get him to pitch. Like,
no, and get a position player out there might be the very similar results. No, look, there are people available. I think we have to open up our eyes and get a little bit creative right here, ladies and gentlemen. We really do. Like, I'm not saying Spencer Turnbull is going to come in here and save the team, because he hasn't actually been that good in AAA in all of his rehab starts. Literally looking over right here in AAA Buffalo. Excuse me, folks. Just got to zoom in here. He's got a 9.95 ERA with a whip over 2 in how many starts? Is that 2 starts? Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. He's getting beat up a lot. But again, like, do you want to test this guy. He was pretty good last year. Do you want to see what he could do? Now, I'm not saying put, Spencer Turnbull into a starting role immediately, but is there some sort of way where we can do a bullpen day where you're giving Bowden, like, dude, Bowden, you got one time through the lineup, or you're going to have an opener, then you're going to come in for the second time through? Like, that might be beneficial. Is there another way we could do it? Because you don't have to outright send him to AAA. There are other solutions if you really don't want to do that, where you can implement them a lot smarter with either guys like Spencer Turnbull or Eric Lauer, who's been dominant. This guy this past week pitched 6 1/3 innings in that relief role of Bowden Francis and was good, and then pitched in the bullpen day and was very good. There's ways around it.
The problem is, though, I think that Eric Lauer now has become that bullpen day, right? And they're kind of slotting him and being like, okay, we are going to be working, and it's like, if you got the bullpen day and then a day later it's Bowden Francis, well, Lauer can't do all that, even though he was, again, very versatile this past week.
Go ahead.
For me, I personally don't think, you're suggesting giving Bowden Francis one time through the lineup. I don't even think that he deserves that right now. And look,
I'm just saying, if they're so against it, like of removing him from the team, like, okay,
sure,
do that.
I'm saying that they're wrong, because ultimately right now, Bowden Francis going out on the bump, he's just a guaranteed L. That's just the way that it is, okay? Maybe, I'm not sugarcoating it, and I get that John Schneider's protecting his player, and I appreciate that. And once again, let me be very clear, I have no hate towards Bowden Francis. I really like the guy, and I like the potential that he has. He's not playing good baseball right now. It is not good for him, and it's not good for the team to be throwing him out there every fifth day just to allow him to get absolutely shelled, walking people. Like, you can see it in his face. It's not going well, folks. So for me, I think they got to really rethink this entire situation, come to terms with the fact that he doesn't have it, and then figure out any other way to make something happen. Kevin Barker was even suggesting, he's like, look, I know trade deadline is 2 months from now.
Make a trade right now.
Make a move.
Yeah, like, do something.
Your team, you're in a position right now, a position of strength, being 5 games above 500. You're feeling good about things. If your ass and your job is really on the line, let's not sit and wait. We need something right now. It doesn't need to be Sandy, Alcantara. It doesn't need to be.
Don't even give me that guy.
Yeah,
that guy's worse.
Sure, that guy's actually worse. But it doesn't need to be one of those big aces. But give me somebody somewhere to help with this current situation right now.
Well, and I'll say this. Like, look, even without a trade, even without a move, you can avoid Bowden Francis in the rotation in the next coming weeks. Looking over right here in how the rotation could shape up, you got Jose Barrios tonight, Chris Bassett, and then you have that bullpen day. Okay, sure, that's the Eric Lauer start, right? And whoever, and maybe it's Spencer Turnbull. Then you've got an off day, and then you go Kevin Gausman. Can you do something that Saturday? Can you do another bullpen? We literally did 2 bullpen days this past week, only 3 days apart. So it's possible, and they won both games. Can you do it again? Skip Bowden Francis, or if you literally need the innings, John, have them come in for the 4th inning and literally go get 9 batters and you're done. You're only throwing these 2 pitches. That's it. You're going to focus on this. This is the game plan. That's it. You're not going to pitch and get yourself stretched out and try to last 5 or 6 innings. You're going to last 2 innings here, and that's it. Well, that's the solution that they could do right now.
And for this Saturday as well, I mean, just looking at it with that off day, you could just skip Bowden altogether and go back to Barrios.
Right. Monday to Saturday. That's 5 days of rest.
You could genuinely just skip that start altogether and just redo it. And at that point, you're just trying to buy yourself any time that you can until Max Scherzer comes back, until Alek Manoah comes back, which, again, we are still waiting on both of those things. I think that they need to figure out and evaluate how long those guys are going to take, Mad Max and Alek Manoah. If you're looking at several weeks to a month for both of them, that's when I think you seriously need to start calling up people like the Miami Marlins. And look, I'm not asking for the race. I'm asking for their 4th pitcher here. Just give me
a 4.5 ERA.
Give me a 4.5 ERA. That's, can give us, 4 to 5 innings a game. That's all we're looking for. An opportunity to win a ball game. Because Bowden Francis, he's not giving you an opportunity right now.
I see people in the chat right now saying, let's get Trevor Bauer. The amount of comments I see whenever we're talking about Bowden Francis, like, oh, well, now we got to get Trevor Bauer. He's MLB ready. I don't know. I feel like I've probably said it. I'm going to guess like 28 to 35 times, somewhere in that range on this channel, on this show. He's blacklisted. he will never come back to the MLB. Yeah, that's it.
It's ultimately a good idea in theory. If Trevor Bauer wanted to change his name, get a complete facelift identity shift, and then sign to the Toronto Blue Jays, trick them into doing it, I'm game for it right now, because I'll take anybody in the mound that can actually throw the baseball with some type of authority.
Why not, guys? Let's shout out to the 226 people in the chat right now. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe to Blue Jays Today. Let's give a quick shout out to a sponsor of this podcast. You got Amsterdam Brewhouse, guys. We're doing another event very soon. I think it's next Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure, but next Wednesday, guys, we're going to be doing another event. We're going to be going down to the Brewhouse, drinking some brews right by the Rogers Center. It's going to be a home game, so if you're going to the game, come beforehand, drink some brews with us, and we're literally, if you guys came, you saw, we just hung out after the live podcast at 6 o'clock and then went live for the game, or no, we didn't go live for the game. We just hung out and watched the game with everybody, so come join us. Super dope, guys.
No, it was really fun. To those people that did show up, shout out to you guys. You guys are all incredible. I had a blast, and we're going to do it one more time, everybody. Now, before we transition from all the trade talks, I actually saw this article earlier today, and this is something that I wanted to bring up very briefly. It's called 4 Players Houston Astros Could Potentially Trade For Ahead of the MLB Trade Deadline. I don't know how I stumbled upon this, but I just did.
Okay.
And one of the people that this article was suggesting that Houston could trade for was Kevin Gausman. This article came out 2 hours ago, and I just wanted to be, so abundantly clear that that's stupid and dumb. And if you guys are getting, baited into these articles about Bo Bichette getting moved or Gausman getting moved or Bassett, or it's, Yankees Insider Today saying one big trade the Yankees could make, and it's
Bo
Bichette's face on it, don't listen to it. Toronto Blue Jays right now are not even remotely, they're not even in the same fucking stratosphere as the idea of selling. It's not.
They're tied for first in the wild card.
I genuinely, I saw this. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Dylan Sanders, the guy that wrote this article. What's going on, pal? I understand that we're strapped for content. Toronto Blue Jays, though, they are not selling. They are buying, if anything.
It's literally, and there's someone in here saying Joe Ryan is a future Jay. I don't know if you mean that this year or later, but it definitely won't be this year either for the same argument.
Argument.
Those are playoff teams right there, but shout out to that guy.
If anything, we should be making articles about how we're going to be taking the Red Sox players right now, because you could actually make arguments that they might end up selling. Toronto Blue Jays, absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, also, before we transition as well, I did want to give a tip of the cap to this Jay of the Week, because there was some good players. Wasn't anybody super outstanding. I mean, I've shout out to George Springer. He's not Jay of the Week. Shout out to Asa Barger. They were putting up some homers and doing good stuff.
Shout out to Kirk.
Shout out to Kirk as well. Always being consistent and super awesome. Got the walk-off hit. But I thought it was, we're talking about Bowden Francis this entire week. I thought it was a good time to give this guy a shout out because he's been so dynamite.
Shout out everybody to Eric Lauer. Wow. Can you believe it, guys? Never thought that we'd be calling his name for Jay of the Week, but
never.
Honestly, this is... Yes, he had a phenomenal week, and he is very deserving of it, but I look at this acknowledgement as kind of a season-long acknowledgement. He has been so good in the role that he's played with the Toronto Blue Jays all year long, coming up when we need him, pitching 2 here, pitching 3 there. Oh, you have only 1 day of rest? No worries, Eric Lauer's on the bump for you. We would not be in this position at all should Eric Lauer be, pitching any less than what he is. We've been chalking those bullpen days up as losses.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but on the broadcast, they brought up that we were 5-1.
Yeah, now we're 5-1.
We were 4-1. Then we won on Friday, and then we were 5-1 in terms of the bullpen day. And the biggest reason why is, of course, Eric Lauer giving them an opportunity. So shout out to that guy for just consistently getting it done. I'm so happy that we're having this completely unexpected breakout from somebody that I honestly was he even on the roster to begin the year?
No,
I don't even remember.
No, he was. I don't think he was on the 40-man roster.
No.
They had to make space for him. But literally, when you ask a guy to come in twice during the week, one for a bullpen, one for a let's say Bowden Francis day, and he only gives up 1 hit, walks 2 in 6 1/3, no earned runs. You got to give that guy a lot of credit. And again, shout out to everybody who they all had pretty good, like everyone had decent weeks. This guy was lights out, and you needed him because he contributed to a win that you didn't expect. So,
yeah, 100%. I'm trying to remember correctly right now. He came in on the Monday game, right?
He came in, I think, in relief for Bowden Francis.
Yeah, so
who was struggling,
and that's the thing, right?
They didn't win, but
Bowden was getting shelled. I'm trying to remember right now. I'm going back to the Monday game. Show me the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was getting shelled.
Bowden was getting destroyed. This is up against the Phillies. All right. A Phillies, good team. Offense looked really, really good. They come out swinging 1.2 innings, 6 earned runs Bowden gave up, and he was out of the ball game. We're thinking game's over, completely done. We inevitably lost.
Yeah.
But Eric Lauer, against that lineup that had all the momentum, everything was going for them, comes in, pitches 4 innings, shutout ball. Gave the offense an actual opportunity. Now, they didn't end up, seizing that because, again, they were already down 6 runs, so that is quite the hill to climb. But the fact that offense was destroying Bowden and then went completely ghost mode the second that Eric Lauer took the bump just goes to show that he is so locked in right now.
Again, we need him. We need to lock him in as like, okay, you're the official starter or whatever the hell that might be.
Genuinely surprised that they haven't done that yet. Maybe it's just because they feel so comfortable using that versatility, That's
what it is. They don't want to lock him in like, all right, you're going to get 75 to 80 pitches because then you are done. Because, we're looking at this week up here and what I threw out there, have him pitch Monday. And if you could bump up Barrios a day, but if you don't want to, have him pitch 40 Monday, 40 again on the Saturday with Turnbull or whatever it might be. So,
right.
Shout out to Eric Lauer. You're the J of the week. And hopefully you can keep being good. And hopefully this guy can come back and give us some innings. He was injured early in the season. I thought we'd be okay. We could survive. We really do need Max Scherzer back in a desperate way for all the reasons that we've already been saying right now.
So listen, I've been of the camp that regardless of what happens, I'm happy with the signing because of the vibes. All that being said, I would like to see you play some baseball eventually.
Yeah, we need you on the mound, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So here's the latest update from Arden Zwelling. So shout out to Arden Zwelling. Max Scherzer threw 50 pitches in 3-inning sim game today. That's kind of been his magical number where that's when his thumb starts hurting, and then they got to reevaluate. Dalton Varsho also nuked off him, so that's also a good sign that he could be back soon. So they're going to reassess and see what happens the next few days. They're going to treat it like he's kind of getting back into the rotation, so we'll kind of see what happens there. And also something to note that he did that on the day of Bowden Francis starts. So,
right.
You kind of see where things maybe are going. So hopefully we get him back soon. I don't know when that is. It feels like he's been stuck in this bullpen day for so long. Could be fucking July for all we know.
Well, and honestly, it's good to see that he threw 50 pitches, but 50 pitches wasn't the problem. It was the 51st pitch that then started to become the issue, right? And that was the conversation all throughout spring training, was that the first 50 pitches, Max Scherzer looks great, and then right after that, the thumb becomes a real issue. We're missing our spots.
We're hurting ourselves, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, and it's just, bad for everybody. So, good news, but also I'm not holding my breath. I still believe that the Toronto Blue Jays need to be as proactive as possible here and need to be treating Max Scherzer as this fun little mystery box that maybe he comes back and is good, but maybe he doesn't come back for a long period of time, and then maybe when he does come back, he might not even be good, because there's also that possibility too, right? This is an old guy who has been dealing with injury all season long and dealt with injury last year. You never know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, and we need him back soon, man. It feels like this. I feel like the Band-Aid, we had a Band-Aid in May, but it feels like the Band-Aid, we have to put another one on in June, because who knows when the hell he's going to come back. And Alek Manoah is going to be August, so that's going to be a long, long time.
Also, too, I see SP in here saying you Savage in the system. Yeah. Why not call him up? Look, interesting idea there, man, but ultimately, you Savage, still early in the development, still young. I wouldn't want to rush him into this situation just kind of purely pure necessity. Ultimately, I wouldn't feel confident that, one, he would play very good to begin with because he's probably not ready, and then two, the guy could get hurt, the guy could, get in his dome. Jake Bloss was always going to be the dude that we could have maybe brought up, and then of course he got injured. So
there's too many Tommy Johns in our system, man. Like Barriera, freaking Jake Bloss, obviously Alec Manoah, then Ricky Tiedemann. Like, dude, like, come on, man.
It's never ending.
It's never ending. Like, if we just had one of those guys, we'd be like, okay, we'll bring this guy up.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's a no-brainer.
Like, but here we are in this situation. But yeah, still lots of time to wait on him. So hopefully we can stay healthy until we get those guys back. Let's talk about the upcoming series starting tonight, everybody, in St. Louis. The Blue Jays are going to keep it rolling on the road. Just a reminder, everybody, like I mentioned before, we are right there in the wild card. First, right there, tied with the Twins, tied with the Rays. I'm really hoping that doesn't come around to bite us in the ass with the Rays. How we have, I think we're 1-5 against them this season. That could be a little bit deadly, so something to keep an eye on for when we face them again. Those series are going to be very, very important. But right there, boom. We got to win another series on the road. It's not going to get any easier because the Cardinals, when you look down at the National League, they're right outside of wild card too. They have a very similar record to us. In fact, they have one more game and one less loss, or one more win, one less loss. They're going to be hungry to get some wins. Let's see what we got right here. Jose Barrios taking the mound for your Toronto Blue Jays up against who? Palante? That's a name I haven't heard of ever. Andre Palante, 26 years old. So far this season, he's been kind of mid. The whip is up there. The ERA is up there. He's been around for a little bit. He's an okay pitcher. It feels like a guy that we honestly kind of need to fill out that fifth spot in the rotation. What are your thoughts on this game?
I like the Toronto Blue Jays, honestly. Blue Jays have been playing a great brand of baseball. Seriously, a great brand of baseball. And Palante here, he's got a 4.91 ERA. That's not good. It's not good. Toronto Blue Jays bats a month ago, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I like the Jays right now, folks. Let's get some score predictions in the chat. 297 in here. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and smash the subscribe button. This is your spot as we get deeper into the season and as we get closer and closer to trade deadline to follow along with the Toronto Blue Jays. All that being said, quick shout out to the sponsor of this video.
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years or older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody. Here are the betting lines. Pretty even. 187 multiplier for the Cardinals, 195 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Feels like they're favorited for a couple reasons. One, they're at home, and two, whilst our offense has been good, their offense has also been pretty good. And I'm seeing in the chat right now, don't forget the Cards beat the Dodgers, shut down Shohei and company. So they are in a tough national league.
Was it this guy that shut him down?
Yeah, I kind of doubt that Palante was the dude behind all of that. But
it was respect.
Ultimately, I will give them this type of credit. National League greater than American League this year.
Much harder.
They have been, playing consistently in the National League. They have been winning. They got one more win than we do, and they are at home. There are a lot of reasons to like them. That being said, fuck all the reasons. I like Toronto.
Yeah, Minnesota series really proved a lot to me, and we've been kind of saying that for the last couple of weeks. Is these are prove it series. What kind of team are you? And they proved that you can be a good and lethal offense on the road when you get a little bit of good pitching too. You can have a chance to win any game anywhere. So for me, give me the Blue Jays money line. I like that 195. It's almost 2 times your money. I like it a lot for just a Blue Jays win. If you guys want to download the app and play, scan the QR code right here or click the link in the details section. So Blue Jays, we're predicting 1-0. I think that's going to be a higher scoring affair because of that Cardinals offense, but Blue Jays for me are never really going to win. 7-4. That feels like a classic prediction I love to do. Moving on to tomorrow's game, which we will be live for, everybody. If you're in here, come join us tomorrow night live on this channel. We're going to be watching the game. We're going to be watching Chris Bassett go up against Mikolas. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Mikolas, who's been pretty solid this year, honestly.
Dude, that guy just never. He's always there.
Always there. Always
this is
there.
honestly, this is the type of pitcher that they're not going to trade him to us because they are also in a race right now. But this is the type of guy that I'd love to go out and acquire right now. A veteran who's been there, who's done that, who is healthy, who's pitching at a high caliber, that's not going to break the bank because, again, it's not like he's going insane mode here, but will ultimately give you an opportunity to win a ball game.
Yeah, and with that being said, you got Chris Bassett on the bump. Also, the very similar attributes can give you a chance to win the ball game any given day. For me, I will lean Mikolas and the St. Louis Cardinals just because, you know, they're due for a win. Their offense is good. They are at home. It feels like a very kind of even matchup. I'm going to give this one to the Cardinals and make it 1-1.
I like what Guerrero is saying right here, saying Mikkel ass, boy. Giving the Toronto Blue Jays 2-0 in the series so far. We're 37-30. We're feeling fucking hot.
Dude, if we win the first two, same feeling as when we were beating the Twins up, like, what the fuck? Like, how are we doing this?
How are we doing it?
Last game, though, bullpen day, but you got Eric Lauer up against Liberatore, who has been very good. He was better at the beginning of the season. Now he's been getting beat up a little bit lately. 3-5 on the season. Eric Lauer versus Liberatore. We're 5-1 in bullpen days.
We are 5-1. However, look, I'm not ballsy enough to say that we sweep them outright. I will take the St. Louis Cardinals in this one, and say that we win the series 2-1. We're feeling great. The momentum's still high, but we do inevitably drop the final game, just like we did with Minnesota.
Give me the Blue Jays winning this one. You know, like we've been saying, the bullpen days have been great. You have Eric Lauer, Jay of the Week. He's been very dominant. Give me him and newly acquired Spencer Turnbull, and let's go win this series. And be 37-31.
Also, Jays fan 27 saying he's getting paid like $23 million.
Another shout out to the Betway.
Shout out to Betway. Jays fan 27 saying he's getting paid like $23 million, and usually he's asked. You're talking about Miles Mikolas, but here's my counter to that. One, I don't care about money. It's not my money. I don't have to pay his salary. And two, you saying his ass, I disagree. The guy's got a career ERA of 4.14, and he eats innings. So ultimately, he's not an ace. Nobody's saying he's an ace, but this is the type of guy that I'd be looking for if you're the Toronto Blue Jays right now. You could trade away, and again, not him. I'm using him as an example because, you know, he's right in front of us right now. But you could trade for somebody like him fairly easily, and it's not going to cost you a Trey Savage or an Arjun Namala or somebody like that. Yeah. And would, I think, help this team out tremendously right now.
Also, big shout out to Nathan McGavor for becoming a starter member. W's in the chat for Nathan, everybody. Welcome to the community, guys. Show some love for Nathan. So with all that being said, you got the Blue Jays winning the series, feeling very good. Honestly, that would be just already a successful road trip. You know, 4-2, and you got to finish it off, I believe, in Phillies the coming weekend.
Well, can we pull up the schedule very quickly? Because I was so concerned about this month or this first
stretch.
3 weeks of the month, basically, because you were up against some really tough competition. They handled the first week of that competition really well, winning 4-2. Now it's St. Louis, then it's Philly, then it's Arizona. And then it gets marginally easier because then you end up with the White Sox, who should be at least 2 free W's, could be 3. Cleveland, who's okay. And then Boston, who is ultimately falling to bits right now.
I mean, even like Diamondbacks, I know they're in a very tough division, but I think they're still below 500 if I'm not mistaken. Where are they?
They are 31-34.
They are, right?
And they've lost 3 in a row. And
they lost Corbin Burns.
They're not nearly as scary as they were several weeks ago or last year, right? So if you can make it through this week, Cardinals and Phillies, by the way, 1-9.
Yeah, they're struggling.
And their one win is against us, right? 1-9. So they are really falling behind. Bryce Harper's injured.
Yeah, he's on the 10-day IL.
So like that team is not looking good right now either. You're kind of lucking yourself into, a very favorable month.
Yeah, like honestly, 3-3 is the floor. Honestly, in this next 6 days, and then going 4-2 would be massive. And then if you were 4-2, that's a 6-3 road trip right there against some of the best teams right now in the National League and the American League Central. So yeah. that's my expectation. Let's go
this
Jays.
month is actually looking a lot better than I thought it would. So shout out to everything that's happening right now. Guys, we are getting to the final segment of that video where we have to swim.
Swing the wheel.
Swing? Yeah. Spin the wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week. Also, official Chalky saying Heineman casually batting 429.
Oh, I know.
It's actually
Casual.
fucking nuts, dude.
I know.
It's June 9th. I feel like we're not talking about that enough.
No.
It's June 9th. And Tyler Heineman is still batting above 400.
I know, and it doesn't get enough playing. Everyone's like, "Oh, get him more playing time," dude. Don't mess up what's going on with Tyler Heineman.
It's just because Kirk is doing so good too.
I know.
And, like, Kirk's batting over 300 with like some of the best defense.
I know.
It's you know what?
Hey.
I think we just got to put both of them in the lineup. That's the
somehow.
DH. you know?
Somehow. Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, like if you could find like a way to get them both, because I don't think we've ever played both of them in the lineup.
No. It's always been one or the other. So whoever is our DH, like, fuck you, man. Tyler Heineman's going.
Although it has
right
been
now.
George Springer.
That's true. It has been.
Who
Yeah.
actually, I think, won me the week last week. No, he didn't. No, I had Barger who got 2 home runs last week. So basically, what happened in the wheel? I won 1, you won 1, we tied 1. Francis was a slam dunk for worst J. Like that was so easy.
So easy.
And then
so easy.
Stolen bases was null. Nobody stole. And then Barger actually got 2, and Vlad and Bichette didn't.
Yeah, I got the bonus player finally, and it didn't actually do anything for me, man. Should have just taken my guy Addison Barger.
Yeah.
You guys play along with us. Let us know who you are selecting. It's Adams week. I'm down by 3. Still lots of time, though. Need a good week.
Lots of time. Let's see what we get, guys. Let's see what we get. Springer leads the team in home runs. I know, that is crazy. He's got 10. The first player to double
Yeah, he
digits.
was also having a great week as well in regards to the home runs.
Stolen base yet again.
Yay, stolen bases.
Fuck, like... I guess I gotta go Jimenez. Like, I guess I gotta go back with Jimenez. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only obvious choice.
That kind of is, man. It does fall off pretty.
Yeah. Actually, let's try and pull up the hitters right now. Let's go. Let's go season.
Yeah.
Season stolen bases. Yeah, it's Jimenez and George leading the way. You want to take George?
Yep.
That's pretty good.
I guess so.
we keep getting stolen bases, folks.
I know. It's kind of the worst category for the Jays because like there's just no one like fuck it. Jimenez was doing it pretty consistently, and then he got injured, and now it's like
people saying Vladdy. Yeah, Vladdy was like the only other person I think than Miles Straw.
Vladdy took one. Yeah, Vladdy took one.
That was
last
a big
week.
stolen base too.
It was important.
Massive. All right.
Adam picked Jimenez. I picked Springer. What is the following category going to be? OPS. Okay, that's fun. We haven't got OPS in a while.
No, we haven't. So, what do I do here? It's been a while, so there's a lot of different guys who you could inevitably go with. Who's been hot the last 15 days? I already know who it is.
Clement. Barger's been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk's been consistent. Vlad's actually not been great. Springer's been amazing.
Yeah, like, you know what? I'm gonna let you go here. Like, it's kind of tough because Vlad would be like the slam dunks pick for me.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna let you go.
I personally don't see myself selecting Vlad here because there's just been so many other good players. It's honestly between Barger or Springer. Yeah, because both of them have just been like.
And then what about how's
Bichette? Bichette's been good, but not quite at the same level as those two guys. And let's face it, right? Like OPS, the name of the game is home runs, and both of them are hitting home runs right now. So, you know what? I'm gonna go with Unk.
Go with Springer.
Yeah, I'm going Springer for stolen bags and for OPS. So
what a week, bro.
Springer's gonna go fucking insane mode.
Can you imagine before the season picking Springer for OPS and stolen bases? Well, I guess stolen bases maybe, but
I would have expected us to be like 15 and 50 if I was doing that, you know. But here we are. Well,
with that being said, I am gonna go with the guy Addison Barger. Dude's just on an absolute roll right now. He's a freight train, and he can't be stopped. So
I get. Wow, Sophie, are you serious? I wasn't looking at the chat. Sophie said Barger. That's actually wow. I thought for sure I'd have your Springer vote in there. I'm actually genuinely, I'm kind of disappointed in you, Sophie, if I'm being completely honest. But I picked that. I literally picked Springer, being like,
thinking of
Sophie's gonna love this pick. She goes Barger.
Dang, Sophie.
Crazy stuff. All right, final category on the wheel. What's it gonna be?
Come on.
Adam's gonna go first here. No bonus player, please.
Oh, it's OPS again.
OPS one more time. Spin.
Vladdy hits home run in St. Louis. That's what a RPG man is saying. Okay, well, shout out.
I hope he does, and nobody's gonna.
Oh man, they never want to stop. What's going on here?
Dude, it's gotta be.
It's gotta be weighted. Okay, it stops. Okay, K batters. K batters.
Okay.
We actually haven't had that one in a while either.
Haven't got K batters in a while. Yeah, so at least, it's weighted, but we're getting different results.
We are.
So that's really all we care about.
Okay, K batters. Who's been striking out a lot lately? I don't have the locked in Anthony Santander, so that's unfortunate. George Springer, Barger, Bichette striking out a crap load lately.
Yeah.
George Springer does have a high strikeout rate this year.
Oh,
right?
sure, yeah.
Barger does strike out a lot too. But if I'm gonna go with my guy, I don't know. You might just go George Springer, or who's leading the team right now in strikeouts? I gotta imagine it's George Springer. Yeah, it is Santander. Wow, it's crazy. It's Santander still leading the team in strikeouts.
Yep.
I'm gonna go George Springer because he does lead the team in strikeouts. So give me George.
No, that does make the sense. What the hell do I want? Who would you guys take in this one?
Who are they saying?
Springer's off the table. Barger or Bo? It feels
I was between Bo and Springer.
It's between Bo and Barger for me, because look, Barger's got some incredible I guess the thing that's instills me with confidence is that Barger's been playing so well, and he's still striking out like crazy.
Same with Springer. Crazy,
right? So if Barger was to slow down just a fraction, you got to imagine that those numbers are going to go up even more. Frick.
Bo leads off some more about. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, Bobby. But Bo puts the ball in play. Bo puts the ball in play consistently. Even though he does have some ugly strikeouts, Bo puts the ball in play.
Big decision.
This is actually a big choice.
Yeah, everyone's kind of split. Everyone's saying Bo or Barger.
My gut's saying Addison Barger, so I will go Addison Barger.
Barger it is. What a fun little week, eh? Look at this. You got Springer, Barger, Jimenez, Barger, Springer. Wow. Didn't expect that in July 9th.
You should pick Barger for stolen bases just so it's like it's consistent. It's effectively if you did that, it would legitimately just be like Barger v Springer, and it's like if Springer has a bad week, you win. If Barger has a bad week, I win.
That's crazy, guys. Guys, that is the Blue Jays Today show. Let your thoughts be known in the comments down below about the whole Bowden Francis situation. We were going off about that for a while, so please let us know down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to Blue Jays Today. $4 a month, become a YouTube member. Shout out, thank you to all of our YouTube members. You guys are absolutely awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button because we're so close to that trade deadline. I'm getting amped up. I'm getting amped up. Now that we're in a position to potentially be buying,
I know.
I am getting excited.
Everyone's coming back, and it's super exciting. Let's go, Jays.
Yeah,
let's go, guys.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always,
go Jays, go!
And go Oilers. And
Oilers tonight.
Go Oilers.
Go